Well, hello there, and welcome to this episode of the Terri Show that I want to start with a question. Do you ever find yourself exhausted and not really understanding why you're so beat? You ever try to figure out, why am I so tired? Even if you're sleeping well, you might still be exhausted. And in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about how you can identify and fix emotional energy leaks that might be making you super duper tired in a way that you haven't connected the dots yet, but I promise you the dots are connected. So before we get into it, if you are brand new to my YouTube channel, hello and welcome. Please introduce yourself in the comments because we are a friendly group of folks, and also make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so that when we roll out new videos every Tuesday and Thursday, you do not miss a thing. If you don't know me because you're new here, my name is Terri Cole. I'm a licensed psychotherapist, a relationship expert, and the author of Boundary Boss, which you can get at boundarybossbook.com. Now, you know how I love all your comments, and I read all your comments, and I love to highlight your comments. So today I am highlighting a comment from my Hota under the interview that I did with Jamie, and it's called How to Be a Kick-Ass Stepmom. And this was an amazing interview. And she says, wow, I'm not a stepmom, but I listened to this episode right to the end. The content is so comprehensive, and so much of what was discussed can be applied to other relationships in life, including the relationship you have with yourself. Thank you, Terri and Jamie. I learned a lot today. Be well. So you are so welcome, my Hota. Thank you so much for being a part of my crew. I absolutely appreciate you. Now let's move into today's content. So, how to identify and fix emotional energy leaks. This is what we're talking about. So what are the top things that I've seen in the past, let's say, 25 years as a psychotherapist, but also in the past 2 years of a global pandemic? Certain energy leaks have come to the top of the list. And one of those, which has really been the same for 25 years, is taxing relationships. If you have difficult relationships in your life that are fraught with conflict, that there's a lot of debating, that you're always going back and forth, or you feel like you're in a relationship with someone that you can never please, that is incredibly exhausting. So I want you to right now just really think about what are the relationships in your life that suck away your bandwidth. There are some relationships that have a tendency to be really noisy, where just nothing is easy. Everything needs a conversation or 10. It's just exhausting. Or no matter what you do, that person is not happy with whatever is happening. There's always another thing. Or friendships, relationships, where the other person always has a suggestion of how you could be doing what you're doing better. I also find that extremely taxing, besides super annoying. Number 2 of something that leaks your energy is worrying. Think about how much time you spend worrying about things that haven't happened yet, right? Because what is worrying? We are fearfully projecting, or catastrophically projecting into the future. And the big problem with worrying, it's a habit, so start there. A lot of times it's learned behavior. You may come from a long line, multiple generations of worriers. And a lot of times we unconsciously think that worrying about others is the same as loving them. And it's not. There's this unconscious connection that worrying is doing something. Like it's actually going to make the person more safe if you are worrying about it. Or it's actually going to make the thing you're afraid of not happen because you're worrying about it. And when you really think about it, worrying is kind of like praying for the exact opposite result than the one that you want. Think about the laws of attraction, or if you believe that what you think about, you bring about. And listen, I don't think any of these things are like written in stone in respect to that. But I do know for sure that where your attention goes, your energy flows. And that I know personally and professionally to be true. So think about how much energy you might be spending in your life, thinking about things that may never happen, right? Because here's the thing. Yeah, bad things are going to happen to good people. Bad things happen. That is the world, right? Good things happen too. But you obsessing about all the potential bad things that could happen will not do squat to change them from happening. What does do something, and in the guide that I'm going to give you that goes along with this episode, you'll see that there's ideas of what to do instead. Because the productive flip side of worrying is preparedness, right? It's actually doing all the things that you can that are within your power and on your side of the street, we're going to get to that, to be prepared. But you must believe in your own resiliency. You must have faith that if those things happen, you'll figure them out. Once you have been and created a preparedness plan, that's basically all you can do. And when you stop worrying, you're going to free up so much bandwidth, but you're also going to reclaim so much emotional energy. This is a really important one because it is a huge energy leak. Another thing that leaks our energy is procrastination. Think about what procrastination really is. When we are not doing something that we know we must or that we know we will, what are we doing? We're giving it our attention. What does that mean? That means where our attention goes, energy flows. So we're not doing the thing, but the thing is still dominating our mind. That is bandwidth sucking. That is energy stealing. So part of it is getting it together with procrastination, understanding if this is something you have a tendency to do, how can you set up, and of course I'll have ideas for you, set up schedules so that you're not left to this. Because I think a lot of times we have these illusions about procrastination. You know, I would have therapy clients who are like, I do my best work under pressure. I doubt that. Can I just tell you? I doubt it. You do your best work when you are expansive, when you are not constricted, waiting until the last minute to do things, procrastinating. It just means you're going to get it done. But I do not believe it will be your best work. Your best work is done with time, with preparation, with giving yourself the luxury of space to be creative, to think about what it is that you need to do. And even if you're procrastinating things that are less important, let's just say like cleaning your house, it's still robbing you of present moment consciousness. So those are the things that we're going to put in a schedule, right? So that's going to be the flip side of procrastination, or the action that can go along with that is putting them physically, putting it in your schedule so you know that it's going to be done and you can stop thinking about it. You're even going to put worrying in your schedule. You will see. All of this will be in the guide, terricole.com/guide. Another thing that sucks your energy away is binge watching, Netflix, anything. If you do it for hours and hours, and especially if you do it late into the night. I have clients, I have friends who are like, I don't know, before I knew it, it was like 4 a.m. Of course, that's exhausting. And that's also can become a habit. So all of the suggestions that I'll have for you in this episode are going to be things that are going to require you to put in a little bit of effort to change what actually isn't working when it comes to your life and the amount of energy you want to have to live your life in this present moment, right? All right, what else? Overworking is a massive energy suck. And it's actually, there's an interesting statistic I was reading when I was preparing for this episode, that every hour you work over 48 hours in a week, you become 1% less focused on the task at hand. Every single hour. So you may still be motivated, but there's a certain tipping point that you hit when it comes to effectiveness and efficiency. So overworking sounds like a good idea. And again, it's also for many of us. I mean, I am a recovering workaholic. And it's something I always have to be aware of. It's so easy for me, especially when I'm enthused and excited about something, to fall back into this pattern of overworking. But having a schedule is so helpful. A schedule that I respect, a schedule that I stick to. It really is a way of protecting myself from that lowest instinct to just lose myself in work, because I don't want to lose myself, right? I want to have my career and the things that I create, they need to have a specific and sacred place in my life. But so does everything else that's important to me. Like my marriage, like my kids, like my grandkids, like working out, like meditation, like time with friends, time with family. All of that stuff is really important. And if you are just a workaholic out of control, trust me, those other things are absolutely being hurt by that workaholism. All right, another massive, massive energy stealer is being codependent. Even high-functioning codependents suffer from exhaustion based on the overfunctioning, the overgiving, the overdoing that being a codependent entails. So we have to be really aware of, what are we doing? Are we doing things for others that they can and should be doing for themselves? Are we inserting ourselves into situations that are not our own? Are we overly invested in the feeling states, the outcomes, the relationships, the circumstances of the people in our life to the detriment of our own internal peace, right? That's how we know if our behavior and the way that we're relating is dysfunctional and codependent, is if it is to the detriment of ourselves. So that's something that you need to think about for yourself. You know how much time and energy you spend obsessing about the lives of others, worrying, and not just worrying, but actually meddling, right? Because think about it. All unasked for advice and criticism is meddling. It really is. When you're in that fix-it mode, and it's a little bit different when you're talking about children and raising children, right? Because we want to instill in them critical thinking abilities. And how do you do that? By asking more questions than immediately providing answers or trying to fix, right? What does it say to a kid if we're always telling them what to do but never asking them what they think? We are telling them that what they think doesn't matter and that we don't think they can figure it out. And from a parent point of view, that's definitely not the messaging you want to give to a child of any age, right? Because what they think matters. And it doesn't mean we let a 7-year-old make family decisions, but it does mean that what they think matters. And for them to believe that, you have to treat them like what they think matters. And it actually has to matter to you, right? And the last thing I want to talk about with sucking away your emotional energy is disordered boundaries. And the disordered boundaries are inherent in codependency, in procrastination. That's a disordered internal boundary. So like there's a lot of the items on this list of emotional energy leakers that have disordered boundaries within them. But bad boundaries in general are friggin' exhausting. They just are. Because we're constantly, it seems, doing things we don't want to do, or laboring over saying what it is we need to say, thinking about what we need to say, or setting a limit with someone, but then not being able to actually do it, or doing it but with so much bandwidth gone from having to do it. So those are my top energy leakers. And what can you do? So in the guide, I'm giving you a little thing where you can do a relationship inventory around energy, like really identifying what relationships in your life give you energy, energize you, excite you, inspire you, and what relationships deplete you, exhaust you, right? And trust me, you'll answer a couple of questions. You're going to know exactly what's what. I also have an idea that you're going to do what I call, it's just a worry clock. is what we call it, worry clock, meaning that you're going to, if you're a worrier, I mean, it doesn't help you for me to just say stop worrying, because you're not going to be able to do that, right? Because it's an ingrained behavior. But what we can do is you can allot a particular amount of time. I would say start with 10 minutes, maybe a day. That will be, you'll turn on the worry clock, so to speak, and you'll allow yourself for those 10 minutes to worry about all the crap you would normally worry about all day long. But then when that 10 minutes is up, you need to be done worrying. So we're going to put limits on that. And speaking of limits, you're also going to put some limits on your screen time, and that includes Netflix and binging time, right? You don't need to watch 7 hours of Netflix a night. It is not productive for you. And if you're watching things that are violent, if you're watching things that are stressful, your body is still going through those motions. When we watch things on TV or movies, they elicit real, actual feelings in us, right? When you watch a scary movie, your body is releasing hormones. When you are startled, when you're scared, the same way you would when you're startled or scared in real life. Listen, I'm not saying that's the end of the world, but I am saying we should limit that time. Because again, we are reclaiming our own emotional energy in this episode. And that's one way that you can do it. You also want to work on your boundaries. So you can use the information from your little relationship inventory questions to see, where do I need boundaries that I'm not putting into place? Where could that be? And then the last thing I want to talk about briefly is having clear working hours. So that also means clear delineation of when you'll be having tech, right? That's the limitation. When you start your work day, if you're an entrepreneur like I am, I have a choice to start it when I want to. So I don't usually start working until 11, which means I'm not on my phone. When I get up at 6:30, 7 a.m., I am meditating. I am jumping on my trampoline and working out. I am going out to feed my geese and my chickens. I am having coffee outside with my husband. I am talking to Vic, my husband, about what's going on in this day and how are we coordinating our schedules. I am taking a tub. I'm getting ready. I'm putting on my makeup if I'm going to be filming, right? Like, I have all of this expansion so that when I start working, I have a plethora, an abundance of energy to do what I need to do, because my workday has not basically co-opted or hijacked my me time that I need before I get into that workday. So I know a lot of people don't have that, and for many, many years, I didn't have that. But we're also going to think about clear working boundaries in respect to when the day is done. There's so many ideas of things that you can do to make that delineation between your workday and your real life. Maybe take a shower, maybe change clothes. I break down my whole entire setup. If I've been filming like I am today, I break the whole thing down so that I'm not looking at it in my little fireplace room, right? I want my real life to be my real life. So those are some of my thoughts about how you can reclaim some of your emotional energy. And if this was helpful to you, I would love it if you would share it with the people in your life, because you deserve to feel energized, enthused, excited about what you're doing in your life, and not to walk around feeling like you're emotionally exhausted all of the time. So I hope you guys have an amazing week taking care of you.